The state of California is all about the California dream, but we have some of the most impoverished people in the country and some of the highest costs in the country. And so that makes it difficult for low-income people to survive here.
We have not been a region that ever heavily invested in shelter. We didn't see people out on our streets like we've seen these past few years. And when that started to creep up, there was no place for people to go. We were living under policies that limited how high you could build, how large you could build, the size of the units. All of that led us to slow growth strategies, which results in not enough housing for everybody who's here.
I think that's what makes California just like a bullseye for homelessness. There's not any housing that people can afford.
Well, I've been out here, man, off and on for I'd say about 10, 15 years. I'm not on drugs and things, none of that, that's what a lot of these people out here want to classify all the homeless out here, they're on drugs and stuff. I'm not on drugs or anything. Just turned 51 years old. I have income, not the greatest income, but I have income, but it's just no housing. You can go to the Los Angeles Housing Authority here in Los Angeles, and they don't even have housing.
The biggest crisis in homelessness is housing affordability. The rents are skyrocketing because the supply is so low.
There's market rate luxury housing. There's plenty of that. But when we talk about housing and homelessness, you have to build the housing to meet people's needs, and we have not done that.
I stayed in the Marine Corps 16 years total. When I left the Marine Corps, I went to school in Austin. I studied architectural design. I graduated, I had a job offer here in California, so I moved down here and I got sick. And I ended up in the hospital. I had no family here. I have nowhere to go. So when I was in the hospital, they considered me homeless because I had no address and I wasn't a resident yet. First night on the street, I felt ashamed. I felt confused. I felt lost because I didn't think, okay, I'm still sick. My clinic was in Venice Beach, California, so I stayed in that area. I slept on the beach. When you're homeless, you can't heal because you're always stressed out. You're always hungry.
Los Angeles has the largest number of people experiencing homelessness, with 75% living outdoors. The challenge is we're being burdened with more people falling into homelessness.
More people are having housing crises. They're having more evictions. And when you're poor, of course, if you're spending a higher and higher percentage of your income on rent, which is happening across the board, then you have less money left for anything else. If you become sick or your car breaks down or anything happens, you're out. That's it. You have no wiggle room.
4 years ago, every time we put a homeless family into a home, there was one more person becoming homeless. And now it's 3 times as many. We came up with the idea of why not try to address the problem at the source? Why not try to buy the apartment buildings that people are being forced out of? projects like Kensington Garden, where we try to get the building off the market and convert the building to be permanently affordable.
My name's Leo Banks. I always had a job, always had a place to live at, until I got older. I moved here in '95, and I've been here ever since. I get $700 a month, and my rent is $665, which just went up to $672. At 71 years old, no, ain't nobody gonna give me any job. And no, I couldn't pay no more money.
Mr. Banks is a great example of the kinds of problems that we're facing now. There's a lot of people in our community who are right on the edge and whose incomes, because of the high increases in housing costs, aren't enough to barely cover the rent, much less food. They're stretched. And if we don't find a way to lock down the affordability and provide other supports, they're going to be priced out of the community and, even worse, possibly out onto the street.
We can't build our way out of the affordable housing crisis. We have to actually preserve the affordability in the existing units, but we can take some immediate steps and start giving people the opportunity to come indoors.
This is my apartment. You know, it's a one-person living, but it's awesome. I have my own sanctuary, I guess. I did this because I was in a real shady mood. I was in a lot of pain. Right after this, I did this real quick. In Japanese, it says happiness, and then the love. I did the Mickey Mouse hand, and then it spells love, and I felt a lot better. All this right here is my art. There's pens, inks, and paints, and anything you can draw with, it's right here.
Permanent supportive housing is a nationally recognized model that helps chronically homeless individuals who live with chronic health and mental health conditions get into a new home. We use public dollars, we use private dollars, and we use the sale of federal low-income housing tax credits in order to compile all the financing needed to build such buildings.
I teach an art class. I feed homeless. I share just positive energy with everybody. Yeah, this is my personal paint that I bring down here so that I can show them how to mix colors and how to show them the variety of different types of paint.
There's so many more people just like Michael who we need to provide a healthy, sustainable, affordable, supported environment where they can live.
I think that we can afford to end homelessness in a country as wealthy as the United States of America. We still have substance abuse problems and health problems and family problems and difficulties for people returning from prison and race problems. But we just wouldn't have homelessness. That would be good.
I'm not taking no medicine. My health is getting back to normal. Getting my housing and all that, it changed my life, changed everything.